How's it going, guys? I'm sarcastic with the Hyperloops. So I've gotten a lot of feedback on pretty much the videos and what everybody else is doing with like hashtag rallying and whatnot. And the first thing I need to say was that if the people that think that the game is dying, it's not. Essentially, what we're doing is kind of I would call it checking with your significant other. It's similar to that thing I tried to ask before about, hey, you know, how can we improve? What's wrong with stuff, yada yada. Except there were also many other people that believe there's other things in general that we can like do better. So there's kind of like a community effort to work on things, and we all have different ideas and whatnot. But the game is not actually dying. If that was misunderstood, it's just kind of not stagnating. A gentleman I spoke with, I think it was Scott Landis, used the word retention, and the word retention is the correct word when it comes to this, because it's used in business a lot because you're pretty much looking to have high customer retention as well as growth for new customers. So now the thing is that FFG has done a great job with the Galactic qualifiers. That whole thing going on conventions is a great way to get people to hop into the game and kind of get accustomed to what's going on. You know, people will walk by, they'll see it, and they're like, oh, you know, what's that? This is interesting. Let me find out. Okay, you know, they take this how to play game thingy, get a starter deck or whatever's going on. Okay, so now they have to, you know, find locals and different things like that. So they've done a great job at getting a bunch of new people in. The 2-player starters, the drop on legacies was ginormous. It's great. We're getting growth. The dilemma is the customer retention, and that's something I believe that needs to be worked on. And so when I'm looking at stuff that it needs to be changed, it's because I want the game to be great. I think when it started off, it was great. There were just difficulties with, you know, production. There continue to be difficulties with production, and there's just lots of different things to kind of speak with the customer base to let them know that things are going great. So just so you're aware, because I've played a lot of, you know, quote unquote dead card games, and I can tell when they're dying. This game's fine. Like, the stages of money that are being spent, everything's fine. The overall dilemma is just that, you know, that customer retention. But now, how would I explain this? So when a game's gonna die, for the most part, it's not that sets got canceled. It's sets never get announced. So sure, maybe FFG is not aware of this, but when someone mentions, so like when a company will go, all right, you know, these are the next 3 sets, the stuff's usually already in production, and for the most part, they're not going to just magically go away from that. But there's always kind of like a whole scare thing when they're not going and pretty much saying, hey, you know, this next set's coming out the next set's after that, so that we know there's at least a year, you know, of stuff coming. Sure, in theory, a company could go and, like, cancel stuff, but normally speaking, they stay away from, like, kind of press releases to talk about this new product that's coming out and then canceling it. Probably also Disney probably just wouldn't allow that shit. So I don't know the specifics, because this is the first FFG game I've played. But, like, I follow CCGs, and when you can't see what set's coming out, you know, 3 months, 6 months from now, whatever's going on, it's like, what the fuck? So, once again, this is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the game's dying whatsoever. They finally announced that Way of the Force is coming out, you know, 3rd quarter 2018. Perfectly fine. We want more concrete shit. So Way of the Force is coming then. Give us a name on whatever the bloody hell the next set is. Or just say, you know, the next set's expected Q4 2018 or, you know, Q1 2019. Maybe they switched to, you know, a whole 6-month thing and they just really haven't told us yet. Like, just keep us in the loop. Because 5 sets is roughly when games die in my book. I played a bunch of Bandai games, and like their Dragon Ball game died at set 5. Battle Spirits died after set 5. So like, I have it ingrained in my blood where set 5 is, alright, set 5 drops. I need to know where set 6 is, because like the licensing on stuff is usually a certain amount of years. or like they give it a certain amount of time to make X sort of, of profit, blah, blah, blah. The profit's all there, so I don't expect the game to go anywhere. And I pretty much made this video because, like, a bunch of people, come in thinking that, like, oh, this game's dying, I'm going to quit, or, oh, I'm a new player, this doesn't feel great hearing that the game's dying, and it's like, no, game's not dying. You don't really have to worry about that. My concern is it's growing the entire thing. So, like, sure, right now, we're struggling a bit at the local level, but they're getting new people in, and, like, that's fine, but, like, what are we doing and what are they doing to kind of get us all together, grow the communities? The kits just aren't that great. That we have to figure out some either better form of kit, or I don't know, like how much. The problem is I don't know how much money they're actually making. Like, could they realistically make the kits cheaper for stores or free? Would that just be super abused by stores? Like, there has to be something that gets people in the door, in theory, to play. When these new customers, get their starter decks and they jump into this game, you got to remember that TTS isn't supposed to exist. So what the fuck are we doing? Like, a lot of my games are on TTS. I probably at this point have played like 5% of my games in real life. And sure, that's not how it started, but if I can't find a local, and I just got into this GQ from PAX East, I just learned the stuff, I bought the starter deck, I'm excited, and now I'm looking for fucking tournaments, and I can't find them. What do I do? I don't know. I'm using my hand mannerisms, but my camera's too low. No, you see better PCS. So, like, that's the thing. We have to figure out that middle ground where, all right, cool, GQs are getting in new players. People see people at locals they're going to get, but locals are essentially dying out. And, like, that's going to happen in general. It's just an overall concern. So we have to kind of figure out together how we can do this. But in general, letting FFG know, and Asmodee in general, that, there are some problems or difficulties, and, here are some thoughts or ideas. Like, we as a community can just kind of think of ideas, but we have to talk to store owners, we have to do stuff ourselves, we have to talk to, our own play groups. Can we, like, sure, if we're gearing up for Worlds, we can do that, but can we just do that on TTS instead? Do we need to all play, tier 1 meta decks for this holdout blaster card when we've got, 1, 2, 3 new people here, and, shit stomping them's not great? Can we just bust out some tier 3s, bust out some, Mothma, hired guns and shit like that? Like, probably. Most likely. But we, most people hate losing. So, like, that's the dilemma. And getting everyone in on that is also the hard part. But, in theory, like, as long as you guys are close-knit enough, you can talk about this and get the stuff going. Or even just, let that fucking one asshole who doesn't want to do the shit go win that stupid prize card for $5. The big thing here is trying to grow the community with the new people. But there are just several issues in general that could cause dilemmas down the line. So, like, people do get fed up with not knowing what's happening. People do get fed up with not being able to get access to the cards at the times that they expect it to. So, like, let's say we get this Q3, okay? So Q3, they're like, oh, July, blah, blah, blah. Shit drops. And now it's like they fucked up again. It's kind of like Awakening. Stores are getting like 5 or 10 boxes. And now you got these new people in trying to get packs. They can't get packs. Like, what the fuck? What do we do? And there's not much we can do. But, like, if we at least kind of tell these things to FFG, hopefully, maybe they have some ideas. They get some stuff in production. They pull their head out of their ass and realize that, card players, like stuff. We're not the normal base that they've had for most of their other FFG stuff. So, making the small announcement like this can be huge or impactful. I've heard from some people, and I personally don't know myself, but, the X-Wing set of people are not actually happy with what's happening right now with X-Wing. Maybe it's that there's no FAQ change, and something about, like, Ghost Fen. Not super familiar. You guys can let me know, but, like, it's going to be stuff that we got to kind of build on. I'm seeing how much time I had, so I got 14 minutes to be in there, so I got about 10 minutes. So, yeah, game's not dying. The concern is that we need to fix this while they're doing great stuff to get new players in. Like, we have to find that thing in the middle that we're missing between, okay, we've got new players in, and now what do we do to keep people into going into, you know, these big event seasons, nationals, and then when regionals tries to rotate back. And one of the things I noticed was that, or I saw someone mention, was a online store tracker. So now, when not nationals, when regionals and store champs get announced, FFG puts out this list of places that have this, that are going to have the events. And now, in theory, there's going to be people that are missing from that event page. But, like, that's a huge thing. Like, when you see that, you're like, oh, okay, you know, I know that this is the place I can go to find where store champs are going to be on what date. So then you can go find out whatever store that is. You can give them a call, figure out what's going on. So if they had a localized page where the stores are just putting their events on it, then we would have one place to go. And it would be essentially via FFG. And I don't know how much effort would be involved with having that created, but in theory, there shouldn't be much maintenance for it, because what's going to happen is stores have to sit there and order stuff. They have to sit there and do the same stuff for store champs and whatnot. So if you guys made something for, you know, just the local events, then we could hopefully have that one-stop shop. Trying to do a one-stop shop for Facebook or Reddit or Discord, or even like just the straight-up event pages of the local stores really just isn't going to happen. But if they can, you know, this FFG website one where we can do it, we can go in, search our state, see where the events are. Like, this could be an answer to most of the problems for where events going. And like, so the most recent article I posted it in the Star Wars Destiny Massachusetts as well. And like, so that's my area. And like, I wrote in that, like, hey, you know, I'd like to get things going in. Like, I don't know, you know, what stuff's going. I don't know where events are going. Like, we have to kind of band together on the whole communication issue. And, you know, we've had lots of people come in. They talked about, you know, what's going on, what's not going on, what pretty much happened in their areas. So I've actually found that there were, you know, other events going on in a close by region. So maybe like 45 minutes, an hour. But I had never heard of this shit. Like, I've never seen it. I didn't know what was going on. Sure, maybe I'm too busy. But like, I'm on Reddit. I'm on the Facebook groups. I'm on the Discords all over the place. But I didn't know about it. So, like, how the hell would other people be expected to know about it? And, like, that's the thing, they're not. So, we have to figure something out community-wise. We do need some help from FFG overall. But it's not like, oh my god, this is all your fault. You don't tell us what's going on. It's like, no. Think of this as a concerned wife. And FFG's the husband, alright? And FFG's leaving in the middle of the fucking night and not telling us where he's going. Sure. You know what? We trust him. After 5 or 6 nights, we're like, what the fuck, guy? What are you doing? You cheating on me? So, like, I know that's kind of funny, but, like, that's really what it is. Like, for me, that's what this is, at least. I can't speak for everybody else, but this is all about trying to let them know, you know, what's going on with us, what's happening. They're going to look at their sales stuff. They're going to, you know, get whatever reports that they get. But if we don't tell them, how the hell are they going to know? They don't. So, you know, if we have an issue with husband FFG leaving the damn toilet seat up all the goddamn time, and FFG husband doesn't know any better, we got to let him know we don't want to fall in the damn toilet, okay? We got to do it. We got to do it. And I know these metaphors sometimes are hilarious or great or whatever. They're stupid. I like them. I like them a lot. I use them all the time for work. Got a couple more minutes. So, for me, that's the big point. The game's not actually dying. This is about trying to make things better in general. They're not so shit awful where it's just like, I quit. I'm selling all my stuff. But we can see things, you know, we can see what's to come essentially over time. And pretty much we can't keep things as they are. We do need to make some adjustments. We need to, you know, band together. There are points made that are great. There are points made that I personally don't necessarily agree with. But in general, we do know that something essentially has to be done. Things do have to get better. And sure, maybe it doesn't quote-unquote start at the local level, but the local level is kind of where we retain people. This is how we keep people going, you know, year to year. Whether it's once a week, whether it's several times a week, whatever it is, we do need to keep people in that local level to keep people interested. Because if not, we're banking on the online system. And the online system is essentially heavily flawed. We kind of get used to it. It's all we have, so we take it. Artificery going down and not being able to have the tournaments anymore, Sure, it sucks. Realistically, it was kind of already known that if they caught on at some point, they have to stop it and send a cease and desist, because it's something they can't allow. Like, there, lawsuits get involved. EA has the digital rights to Star Wars. So if FFG becomes aware of something, they kind of have to say, hey, you can't do this. If they became aware of it and it got proven and blah, 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 like, shit could just be bad. So it makes sense. Understood. Unfortunate, but understood. If someone else wants to start up organized play, they'd have to pretty much get caught for them to get a cease and desist. So it's really not like, oh, we can't play online and have organized play. No, it's just someone else would have to do it. I'm not saying to do it, but if it happens. So yeah, I wanted to make this just to make it know that for me, this isn't a sky is falling type of thing. This is a, hey, I have concerns overall. What's going on. Other people also have similar concerns. We need to do something about this. They need to help us. We need to be able to give them ideas. We need to not be little shits about things, and we need to, make a contrived effort. There are tons of communities that are doing relatively well right now, and those people are, breaking their own backs, bending over, trying to make sure stuff's getting run. It's like a whole second job. Those people are great people, and at some point, people get tired of shit. So at what point do they just stop? When they stop, does the community just die out? Because that's kind of what happens at times. So like that's another big thing for this. So it's not just FFG. It's not just us. It's not just the store owners. We all have to do this together. We have to talk to the store owners. We got to let FFG know what's going on. We got to hope that FFG can, figure something out to help us out. But communication is probably the biggest issue. If the store owners are kind of robbing us blind, if we talk to them about it, let them know our feelings, and that, people don't really want to play like this. And we don't say this in shitty-ass ways, because if you say it in a shitty-ass way, they're going to be like, well, fuck you guys. So, like, talk to them, let them know the overall concerns. Because, like, the thing is the bottom line for both store owners and FFG is making money. Keeping their customers happy is fine, but the reason you do that is to make money. They don't go in there being like, oh, I'm going to keep my customers happy because, like, we're going to be great people. Yes, we might be great people, but the main object is we need to make money. So there are always going to be methods to it. We have to figure stuff out. I love hearing the ideas you guys have. If we can get a bunch of stuff in, I have no problem, bringing in a fucking pamphlet or a book for FFG when I go into Worlds, and I'm like, hey guys, da-da-da-da, I won NA champs, I'm making a card, these are the concerns of more or less the community. Sure, I don't know, what's really realistic or usable for you guys or what could pass, but, just give you guys information I figure could go a long way towards something. Even if, 1 of 10 items gets done, that could be the one that, not necessarily turns things around, because like I said, this shit's not dying, but, like, it can improve quality of life. It can make things better, and like for me, that's the object here. That's what we're attempting to do. So, my ass has to get into work, and I hope this was very helpful, or I just wanted to give you my take on it. Like, the sky is not falling, the game is not dying, as far as I understand. But this is a hey, our relationship could be better. These are the things we're not very fond of. We'd like some of these things to essentially occur. Or does any of this seem reasonable to you? What can we do to make this better? Because at some point, shit's going to erupt. Whether it's like 3 years from now, 5 years now, whatever. Just kind of think of it when you get like pent up, like pet peeves thing, or like they build up over time. Your best friend does this stupid thing to you all the time. They leave little tacks, you step on them like they're ginormous jackass. You're like, ah, ha, ha, this is funny. And then after like the 50th time, you like punch them in the fucking face. Maybe not that bad, but like you should more or less understand what I'm saying. Like, these are just small things. They're not necessarily great, and we're trying to more or less like notify of that issue and potentially things we want. We could be completely fucking wrong. This could just be like, oops, we get what we want, and then we're like, fuck. But like, better communication doesn't seem like it's something that would be negatively impactful. So something like that, like being able to communicate better. Just so let's start. I want to see if we can get that event page thing done, where stores can go in, post their event pages, or like when their events are going to go down, and hopefully get people in for this new thing. We can push, you know, the new customers, the new customer base to this area. Like, hey, if you're looking for tournaments, you know, go over here, instead of, oh, go on Facebook, go ask for whatever state you're in. People will invite you, and then you'll have to find shit and clod shit for days. Like, this could be like a one-stop shop thing for finding events. And then how we handle our own Facebook groups, Reddits, whatever after is on us. But for me, I think that could be a ginormous thing. Thank you to the person that went and announced that. They said they had that for Decipher in the 90s. I think it was on a YouTube comment. I cannot remember the name, but you are great. Comments, stuff like that. Let us know. Dude, I'm telling you, I will try to write the stuff down and hand them over a booklet if we need to, all right? But let's get together. This guy's not falling. Still, hashtag RallyAid. Do the do, guys. Thanks for listening, subscribing, following. Undersarcastic and Hyperloops out. Deuces!